You'll notice in the last election, I campaigned on responsible growth and prosperity. I'm doing so again. We have about 3,500 houses in the planning queue right now, or sorry, housing units, whether it's apartments, it's a nice mix of towns, apartments, fully detached. The bulk of it is in townhomes and apartments, it seems, excuse me. And why? Well, that's a more accessible from a cost perspective form of housing, and it complies with, frankly, what the province has laid down through the Greater Golden Horseshoe Growth Plan and the provincial policy statement, and so on. Now, we've worked hard to reorganize Town Hall to be able to accommodate this. In the past, it's sort of been a come on down, let's make a deal sort of approach to development, and it's worked to a point. But if you're going to be handling larger and larger numbers of homes being developed, and developed in a way that does not detract from the reason you moved here in the first place, which is the character of the town of Midland. The town of Midland I grew up in, it's changed somewhat, but that fundamental character is still there. Tree-lined streets, older homes, beautiful downtown, gorgeous waterfront. You want the development that's going to supplement that, enhance that, complement it, but not detract from it. To that end, we've rebuilt, we've allocated resources in the planning department, and they're putting in a more structured approach to the planning piece. More people into the building department, working with Penetang Machine to share that resource, and also within engineering, so that we can process these and technology. We're providing them with technology so that they can process these things digitally and almost in real time. We're still processing some of the residual pieces from the last planning regime, but that's coming to a close, and we'll start to move into a phase where we start building more homes, working with the development community to ensure that they know what they can expect from us, and to let them know what we expect from them. And in so doing, you should have a smoother process and getting more houses built within the town of Midland, providing a roof over people's heads. It sort of fits in with that housing piece I talked about on another segment. It does sort of fit in with that. And frankly, Midland is in a really good spot. It's sort of at an inflection point. And as with more houses, from a taxation perspective, you start to spread the costs of the municipality, because, for example, at 350 homes a year, you're dramatically reducing the mill rate over a 10-year period, giving you flexibility and options, and spreading the costs of operating the town over a much broader base. And those costs of operating the town are not going up, will not be going up nearly as fast as the number of new people moving into town. New neighbors means new ideas, new friendships, and of course, from the mundane point of view, it helps with the taxes. And building those neighborhoods, the cost is associated with the growth, and it's not on the tax bill. So I think that we are in a wonderful spot. We're at an inflection point, and I hope that in the next term I'll be able to move the needle even further, not only from market housing perspective, but also, as I said in the other piece, about an attainable housing perspective, and work with council, staff, and of course you, the residents, to make that a reality. I'd just like to speak a bit about the Economic Development Corporation of North Simcoe. It's something that the 4 North Simcoe municipalities agreed to fund, because economic development, what we've seen from other jurisdictions, is where you have friction at borders and boundaries, you tend to discourage people from coming to those municipalities. So coming together through the Economic Development Corporation happened through 2 councils ago. We've continued with that. It's evolved. Part of its function was tourism, which is now devolved to it's working with Tourism Simcoe, which gives us a lot of leverage for the money that we're putting into tourism. It's giving us reach well beyond Simcoe County, the province, even beyond the country. And so enhancing tourism, which, as we all know, is a major component of our economy here. The other aspect of the Economic Development Corporation is providing inventory that, and they're working very collaboratively with the Economic Development Corporation or Economic Development function at county. And so we're getting international exposure for foreign direct recruitment. We're seeing involvement of the Western Ontario Wardens Caucus as well through the county and then through down to Economic Development Corporation, identifying housing as an economic development imperative. They're working with the educational institutions to get training in skills trades, whether it's machinists, plumbing, electricians, and people working with robotics, AI, and so on. They're intimately involved. Economic Development Corporation is intimately involved. And I think it's important to recognize that we are seeing things happen here in the town of Midland. There is likely to be a new plant open up shortly, or at least to be built, that will bring 60 new jobs to industrial jobs to the town. There is the prospect of another one I can't say much about, but which is really a revolutionary technology being applied to the automotive sector. And the impediment here, of course, is housing. So not only, but we can get, and housing affects economic development, not only from the executive level, right down to the apprentice and the journeyman in terms of availability. EDC&S is working hand in glove with industry to see how to resolve that. Industry itself is looking at ways and means of enhancing housing as an economic driver. So it's something that is recognized as something that is North Simcoe focus, and I'll speak a bit more about that in another clip. But basically, economic development in tourism is being handled through the Economic Development Corporation. Town of Midland is putting together events like tall ships. You remember the Yellow Duck in the harbor, reenactors of War of 1812. Well, of course, the Butter Tart Festival, and so on. But that's supporting the efforts of merchants, the chamber, the merchants belonging to the chamber and the BIA. And so we're going to continue, in my view, we need to continue to support that effort, seeing the organization evolve as they understand what's going on in the marketplace. So as mayor, I will continue to support EDC&S, as I'm sure the other municipalities will. The airport, for example, is basically another example where we're coming together to look at the lands around there as an economic development zone, and working to do a site plan for the attracting industry, and hopefully with a focus on housing, and as well as aviation. So stay tuned. We're going to continue this work. I hope I will be at council and looking to chair the Economic Development Committee again, and to continue that work, and as well as some of the other activities that I'm involved with in that county that supports economic development. So onwards and upwards, we're looking for more jobs, younger people. We're not just here to be a retirement community. We're here to be a fulsome, well-rounded community that supports each other in all that we do.